It's sounds turned.
You know where the other stuff's at.
You want some money? There's whiskey. All right, it's 6 o'clock. It's Thursday night. It's Real Unfiltered Talk. This is James Bryant, right along with world champion fisherman Dion Hibden. Dion, welcome to the show again. How you doing?
It's good to be here. I'm doing great.
I put my hat on, cover up my bald head. Man, where to begin? How was your week, Chief?
It was good. It was very good. Got to fish a little bit. Got to catch them a little bit.
Hey, Tony, does it sound good?
That
all
makes
right?
it awesome.
I know you're watching, Tony. Does it sound all right? Everything good there? As soon as I transition over, here we go. Now everybody can see us too. So
there you go.
That's good. So, yep. I'll let that screen change up. Yeah, it's Wednesday. Got a lot to talk about.
Yep, sure.
Kind of cool. You're way over there.
Big bass.
We'll leave that hole open.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have a surprise later. We'll see if he wants to get up or not and listen
right.
to it. Thanks, Tony. How was your week? Not mentioning Tuesday.
It was good. It was good. I've had a great week. Got to fish a little bit. I fished all over the lake. Went to Niagara on Monday and had a pretty good time in there. Caught a few, and then fished in the Gravois on
Tuesday.
Thursday or Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday.
Yeah. So I posted up last I guess it was Tuesday night that you and I fished a tournament together, first time ever.
Yeah.
And I said, you guys want to figure out how we did, and had some people comment. I said, if you guys want to post and comment what you think we did. Of course, what most of them said, well, you fished it was, 10 pounds, 12 pounds.
11 pounds.
Yep. Some people said 4 fish for 1880.
There you go.
Some people said you caught a 680. It was like all kinds of stuff out there. I thought it was kind of cool.
All over the map.
It was all over the map. But, I thought tonight because we're 48 hours from the Big Bass Bash. So we can kind of talk about our day a little bit and give everybody, because we've led up to this moment.
Sure.
So it's Thursday. We're a day late. And thanks, everybody, for tuning in and watching. It's my apologies yesterday. I have a significant other at the house, and she had knee surgery, and she needed a little extra care. So we had to, we have a rule in case all you're watching, family first.
Family first.
Family first, and then everything else is second. Sometimes we lie and say fishing is second, but but for the most part, family first. So sorry, you guys missed. Hey, Peter T's on. Thanks for watching, Peter.
There he is.
You want to say hello?
Hey, Pete. How are you?
He's not. I don't know if he's going to answer. But
I talked to him about 3 or 4 days ago.
Yep.
Checked on him after the hurricane, see how things were.
I guess he made it because he has internet service.
Yeah,
so that's good.
He said they didn't have much more than some little bit of wind and some rain.
And we're gonna. I know Peter's. I hope he's watching. Maybe somebody stole his phone. If you stole Peter T's phone, looking forward to having you on the show. We'll get together and hopefully have you on real soon.
Yep.
So there's a tournament trail down here, and it's called the Angry Pirate Tournament Series. And Andy Capps, who was a guest on the show before, had done these little tournaments, and it's turned in what he calls Murderer's Row. Have you heard that one? Mm. So he calls it Murderer's Row because if you look at the list of guys, said they're the ones that murder bass. The heaviest sticks in fishing show up for this deal. It's the ultimate bragging rights tournament.
It is. It's pretty scary.
Yeah. So when we decided you and I were going to fish, he said, well, let's go fish Angry Pirate. And I thought, man, I do not belong there, but I'll take I've always wanted to fish with the Bassmasters Classic champion. So, this is my big chance. So we went and fished. Had 17 boats. Yep. It was a pretty cool time. And we'll have to start with that morning. I think your son called you Grandpa that morning.
There's no telling.
I think he said, you're going to catch him today, Grandpa, or some crap like that. And you said, yeah, I'm fixing to.
Yeah.
So it was cool.
It was.
For those who are listening all over the country,
lots of good trash talk,
and not amongst all the anglers, just family trash talk.
Yeah, basically.
I don't think I trash talk a word. I think it was just between you guys. I think the Bojangles guys were there. I think Bo was there. Yeah. I think he had plenty to say as well. So yes. So they started out with a little bit of banter, and so we took off. And for those who are listening that are not familiar with Missouri, because we do have listeners from all over the country, we fished on Lake of the Ozarks. And the tournament took off. If you want to pull up Google Earth or your mapping, the tournament takes off at the very back of the Gravois arm. Yeah. So just so that everybody's, and we'll get to the tournament results down the road here, but just so you don't have to look anywhere else on the map, we took Dion's Camus boat, went out there, and never left the Gravois arm. Never out of it. So if you guys want to know where he was fishing, I'm just going to eliminate that right now. Yep. Never left the Gravois arm. Never fished back in the end of any really wild creek. Just went kind of fishing.
Yep, just fished.
So with that being said, I kind of like, hey, Ron Sisko, our longtime listeners, is in Michigan watching. So
there you go.
Get home, Ron. Better watch out. At least there's no ports up there that you're going to have to mess with in Michigan. So, well, there are ports, aren't there?
Yeah, there are ports.
Yeah, take that back. Never mind.
Yeah, there's ships come in up there, too.
Yep, so it's cool. Bring me back some whiskey, Ron. Appreciate that. So we took off, and I'm going to try to be as transparent as possible. First thing Dion says to me, he says, hey, I know this spot where there's a lot of fish that have been returned. Let's go back there and try to catch just a couple to get started in the morning. He said, and I quote, he said, because the bite does not start until 11.
About 10:30, 11.
11. He said, so we're just going to go kind of mess around and see what we can do. So we went to a couple of spots, caught a bunch of 14-inch fish. Nothing outstanding, but we kind of got our limbered up, I guess you could say.
That's right. Yeah, kind of figured out what we wanted to be doing.
Yep. And he said, anything we catch before 11 is a bonus fish.
Yep.
And, me being a river guy, I really didn't quite understand that, which, by the way, there's a lot of, I'm going to call them Hibdonisms. There's a lot of words that you throw out there that made a lot more sense tonight going in. For example, every week he says the term schlepping around.
Yep.
I now know what that means because we didn't do it. So we'll get there. We didn't schlep around.
Not really, no. Maybe for the first couple hours.
That was definitely schlepping around. Because we just went down a row of docks.
Didn't really have a good plan at that point.
So I get you. That is schlepping. Yeah. But you were waiting for the sun to come out.
That's a big part of it.
And we've talked about it a bunch. And I want to try to help everybody out with kind of bridging the gap with what we've talked about for several months now about resident bass and where they live. So, we always say bass like something over his head, bass like shade, and Dion says week after week after week, you want to get back to the darkest, deepest spot you can find, right?
Right.
I mean, it's not, we haven't changed anything. So, let's see. So, Peter, I'm just going to back up here. Peter T says, you fish with any Hibden, and the only place you'll fish is the house foundation.
The house foundation. Oh, yeah. The lake. We tried it. We looked at it, Pete. Don't worry. We looked at it that day.
As a matter of fact, he said, hey, there's this spot. And he said they shouldn't be there, but we're just going to go just keep them honest to make sure they're not.
We're just going to make sure.
Yep. And they were not there. So never caught a fish.
That's while we were schlepping around. We kept on moving.
Didn't you have one that bowled up there, right around there?
No.
That was another point, wasn't it?
That was on a different place, yes.
Okay, gotcha. So it wasn't even a boil there. So, no. But, yeah, you're right, Peter. I was amazed because I've been by that place a million times, never knew it existed. I just drive by it, because I'm good at doing that.
We weren't exactly sure where we wanted to go right off.
Right. So pull up on a kind of a secondary style point, and there was a long dock, single well dock, and 40, 50-foot ramp, and there's a concrete abutment that holds up the center joint of the walkway. Anybody that fishes those kind of knows what I'm talking about. And I slung up there. I made a long cast over a cable, up by the post, catch a 2-pounder.
Yeah.
Put in the boat. So that was cool. So I broke the ice, caught him over the cable. It was fun. Trolled up. He got hung up in the cable. Should have lost it.
Yeah.
But that was my awesome moment because that was, for the record, folks, the last fish I caught.
We thought that was going to be the lucky part of our day. You landing that one over the cable.
Over the cable.
Yeah.
It looked cool, but after that. Just so we can finish the story up, my series of 14-inch fish was probably 10 or 12. I don't know if I caught that many, maybe 6 or 8.
It was busy.
It was busy. But never caught a keeper for the rest of the day. But that, folks, is not the story we're going to tell tonight.
You say that like it's a bad thing. I'm not easy to fish behind when I finally get it figured out where they live.
But you know what? You let me come up on the deck with you.
Well, sure,
you
absolutely.
Let me hang out. We sit up there and we tossed around, and I was very respectful. I asked, is this okay? He's like, hell yeah, I don't care. You're not gonna bother me. Just get out of my way.
That's right.
And I was like, all right, that's cool. So we did. It was all cool. So sun comes up, and I just have to preface this, people. If you've never fished with a Bassmasters Classic champion. If you've never fished with a world champion fisherman, if you've never fished with a real professional fisherman who does it for a living, there's a whole level of intenseness that maybe you don't realize it. And I haven't. I will say that Mr. Hibden was probably feeling really good that day because he was pumped. He was excited. And he was very focused. And he was a machine. He covered some ground. And when we talk about schlepping around, you don't go through 8 or 10 docks in a row and kind of grind it out. You fish this dock, you fish that dock, and then you leave, and you go find docks that are like that. Now, I can say we didn't fish anything any deeper than 12 feet of water all day.
Yeah.
10 feet. I'll be crazy. 10
Sure.
feet. And we didn't fish anywhere it wasn't a piece of wood, right?
Yep.
So the pattern was pretty simple. You know, you find a piece of wood on a dock in the shade, you toss a jig in it, and you're going to catch a fish. So it's cool.
Sure.
So he says, I know this spot. And this meets this criteria. And we go down a row, pitch in, and he hangs what I refer to as, and you guys can all comment on what you call a big fish. You can call them big heads, you call them big green, you can call it fat head, you can call it whatever. But I think this one qualifies as Sierra Madre, right? So he swings on this fish, and he misses. First time, right?
Yep.
And he says, damn, he said, I had a pretty good bite there. Tosses back in the second time and hangs him. And, I mean, I'm watching his boat. I mean, this rod's loading up. And he says, and do you want to tell the story what you said, or do you want me to say it?
Go ahead. You're doing
He hangs
good.
up on it, and there was either a piece of steel, a bar, maybe a cross member and a dock, something along that line, but hangs up. And he says, this is either a giant or I am hung. And the fish comes unbuttoned. Not off his rod, but it comes out of whatever structure it's on. He comes up. And when he comes up, he shows his mouth. And if anybody have ever seen a big, fat 5-pound fish, you know, when some of them really jump out of the water, but when they're really heavy, they really can't jump. They just kind of thrash their heads around. And they make that really deep, deep splash. And I heard him go, huh. And he goes, yeah, get the net. So I scramble, get the net, scoop it up, and he goes, holy cow, man. He said, I think that's a 6-pounder. Well, folks, it was a 680. So, and I think so we pound up, and we're having a good time. It's a really cool fish. So 2 fish in the boat, we got 880, roughly. I'm doing score tracker math here in my mind. So he goes, dude, I don't care what you say. He sits down, and he's really excited. You know,
Absolutely.
I thought he'd be like calm and, you know, collected. No, he's kind of shaking a little
Had
bit.
a hard time retying.
Yeah, he's like, you know, I don't care who you are. He said, you can't not get excited about a fish like that. And I'm thinking, hell yeah, that's cool as hell. You know, this guy's caught 10, 12-pound fish all over the world. And he catches a big 680, and, you know, this is kind of cool. You know?
It was fun.
He's excited.
Got fired up.
Yeah, he's excited. He's having a good time. And yeah, it was cool because he's and lesson, the tip of the day, he sat down, immediately retied.
Retied,
That
yeah.
first thing, got to retie. And kind of bitching about his line a little bit. You know, it was breaking off.
Had some line
times,
trouble earlier in the day.
and I backlashed about every 5th cast because I was trying to pitch around docks with the world champion. I'm going to hit all the metal while he hits all the water. So it was a good team. You know, I covered the bad
Worked
stuff.
out.
I can tell you there was no bass above the water because they weren't there. I tried. So it was cool. So we go around the dock. Let's go back to the story. We go around the dock, adjacent on the other side. And guess what, folks? He did it again. He hangs another fish. And I said, is that a good one? And Dion said,
I believe so.
I said, yeah, it is. So I went and got the net again. And he swings probably 5.5-pounder in. So back to back, 680, 5.5 on one dock. And I'm thinking, dude, this guy's the baddest man on the planet. I don't care what anybody says. And then I started thinking about doing math. I catch 680 and 5.5, it's 11, 12. We got like 14 pounds and 3 fish. That's something else. And he's like, yeah. He said, and he starts snickering. And he said, I said, what? He said, dude. He said, we just wrecked Lawson's day. Which, by the way, Lawson had been fish the tournament as well because they were trash talking in the beginning. So with that being said, he said, I think we done pissed him off.
Yeah.
And I said, really? Why? He said, he ain't doing this. You want to get in on it now? Let's bring on. Hey, Lawson just has to be in the crowd. Let's bring him up tonight.
That's
let's,
right.
Let's go ahead and
That's
finish
right.
the story out. So we got she had to be her. Yeah. We're over 12 now, so we're cruising along. So we're sitting on about 14 pounds. We got 3 fish in the boat. Go down to another dock. Hey, welcome to the show, Lawson. How you doing tonight, buddy?
I'm doing all right.
Cool. So I just want to make sure you're in on this. So
Yeah, I've been hearing it.
it's all good.
I've heard it all week.
So what? All week? It's been 2 days.
It's
48
long enough.
hours. Long enough. So how are you guys doing about this time?
I mean, we had like 20 keepers by this time, all of them about 2 pounds apiece.
Yep. So you're sitting on
Not
10,
much.
12 pounds, somewhere in that ballpark. We're sitting on 14 with 3. We go to another dock, which was one of your good spots. But he made it very clear. He's like, hey, this is one of the losses. They're always here, but we're going to go ahead and he's not going to be over here today. So we're just going to go ahead and have us a look. And
well, I basically told him we need to hit it now before Lawson comes back.
Yeah.
We need to get this one going before he comes back and he gets it.
And I don't know, would you consider that a hole buzzard or just?
I would say that's
so he hole buzzard your spot. Totally fine with me.
It's probably not the first time that's happened to these two Hibdons.
Sure.
All right.
Sure. So we roll in, and he's like, right here in this spot, there was a upright pole. It was a mud. Some people call them mud poles. But if you don't have a cable, there's dead mans that go straight down. There's a corner. It's a perfect 100 or 90 degree angle. He's like, there's really one right in that corner. He tosses him, 4.5 pounder, sweeps him out, and so we're sitting on 4 fish, about 18 pounds, and then became the struggle. It's about 12:30.
Yeah.
Weigh-ins at 3. We fished the rest of the day. Cannot catch a keeper. Save our soul. And I even pulled out my specialities. I pulled out chatterbait. I pulled out just trying to swim jigs, just trying to catch a 12-inch Kentucky, just so we can say we had a limit. Because he said, if we catch just a 12-inch fish, we've sealed the deal. He said, we got ours done, because that'd put us about 20. He said, that'll get us there.
You got to understand that that's the first day I've been on the water in a while, and we were fishing against most of the top 10 from the week before in the Toyota series were in our tournament.
Right.
Out of a 17-boat field, most of them made the top 10 last week.
Right.
So.
Right. And so did you, by the way. Congratulations on that.
Glad
to have you. You came in on day 3 and 25th, right? Rolled her out of top 10, right at 10th, right?
Not nearly as impressive as the Angry Pirate.
No, that is impressive, though, because you're fishing against 150 boats. We fishing on 17. And I'm trying to say I take the credit, but I told Dion, I said, I did play a very important part, and I'll get there. Not only am I a net bitch, but I played a much bigger role in this. Because this is how I get to get my 2 cents in, because I'm a big deal too. I'm sitting here against 2 Hibdons. I gotta make sure that my shit counts too. But so your fishing partner said you had to throw the old guys a bone. So you're just feeling sorry for the old man. That's how it went down.
That's not it.
Okay, yeah. I didn't think so. So
he would rather beat me than anybody. Yeah.
So to wrap it all up, we go into weigh-in. We do not catch 5th fish.
No.
However, we still managed to eke out a victory with 1881 on 4 against your 14, I believe. And Brian Maloney had a great tournament. He had 5 fish. There were 17 something.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a blowout by any means, but an awesome experience for me to see, Dion fish like that, and for him to catch fish like that. I mean, you got to admit, Laws, that's impressive stuff.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yep. So the best part of the story is, and here's where everybody gets to be involved in this, because I'm thinking of how we were going to do it. So I got a gift for everyone. So I set up the GoPro. I have the entire day on film. I have every catch on film, including his method, how he threw it, where he threw it, and what he did. So for those that are watching online, here's the deal. If you, at the bottom of our page, I have our email. It's askrealtalk@gmail.com. Send me an email and say, hey, James, I'd like to see Dion catch a 680. Make sure you're subscribed on YouTube, and I will send you the video of the 680 catch. And if Dion says it's okay, I'll send you the 550, and I'll send you my 2-pounder. So I'll edit them down. So if you want to see me catch a 2-pounder over the cable, I'll do that too. I know that'll be the third request, to be the most requested one.
That'll be the most requested,
Everyone wants to see that 2-pounder. If you want to see a 680 get swung in the boat and see the most fantastic net job that God has ever gifted a guy to net a fish, I can't, I can't do anything else, But
the first fish that we hooked that day was the one that Jamie, caught, and I looked up, it came up, jumped, and I said, "You need the net?" And he's like, "Yeah, kind of messed up over the cable." Well, by the time I got down, got the net, he had already pulled it over the cable and just lifted it up in the boat. So my net job was not nearly as nice as what his was.
Well, you kind of told me ahead of time that I would probably have to swing everything anyway.
Because I'm not very fast.
Yeah, that's okay.
Pretty slow when it comes to the net.
But 6-pounders will typically get you on your feet.
Yeah,
I watched the video, and you were pretty quick.
Yeah, Jamie's not me.
Yeah,
when one of them heads comes out of the water, he's pretty Johnny on the spot.
Can you imagine being, and maybe you've been there, but I can't imagine not netting a fish like that successfully. I mean, I might as well just, if I would have knocked that fish off, if he would have jumped over the net, if I wouldn't have got there in time, I would have stepped off the boat, swam to the bank, and walked home.
I'll tell you one worse than that.
I would not have done it.
Me and Dirk were fishing the Anglers in Action tournament last spring, and it was early, like March. We were catching them on a square bill way up the river, 15-pound line, and I hook a fish going down this little channel bank, sling like a 3.5-pounder in the boat. Dirk said, we should probably net those. And I said, all right, well, next one, get the freaking net, I guess. And next fish that bites me just swims right at me. And I'm like, I've got him, I think. It's a little guy. And go to lift over the side of the boat, and it hits on the gunnel. I'm like, wow, it's not that small, but it's still fairly dark in the morning, so I couldn't really see. So I just tried him again. I lifted him over the side of the boat, just about break my rod, lifting him over the side of the boat, and it was 725. Dirk said, yeah, we're definitely going to net the rest of this.
Yeah. Well, so, and there are indicators for a rookie fisherman and a co-angler, that you have to listen when a pro talks. You have to really listen closely. And when we start up the morning, this is what he told me. He's like, hey, I just want you to know that when I drive, his net rests in behind the back seat. On a Camus, there's a net pocket, and the net sets in behind the passenger seat, sets up and down, and kind of like this. And then he takes the net and sticks it in his storage lid and closes it so it doesn't blow out. And he said before we started, hey, just want to let you know if you need to go to the net, I got it snapped in there. So like any great net guy, the first thing I did was take it out. So there wasn't any question there. So if a guy says, hey, I've got this little issue, fix it.
That's a guy that's had practice.
It's a guy that knows. Now,
you've netted some fish.
I did. Yeah, I've netted a lot of fish. Now, I did tell Dion that I'm responsible for the win. I want it for him. So,
because of the net?
No, because I caught the 2-pounder.
Oh, yeah.
Because if I hadn't caught the 2-pounder, we wouldn't have finished second.
Yeah, we would have finished second.
You think that would float?
Yeah.
No. All right.
A win's a win.
Damn.
You guys got it.
Yeah, no matter how you do it. I mean,
congrats.
No, I'm not taking any credit at all. It was an honor to get to fish with him. It was an amazing time. And it was a lot of fun, and I learned a lot, because schlepping is whenever you're just cruising down the bank like I fish 90% of the time, covering water, trying to find fish, But now I kind of look at river fishing a little differently, because the style of fishing we did that day, you focus mostly on shade, the dark spots. Guys, I'm not telling you anything that you don't read in a magazine. I wish I could say there was some great secret that Dion did that just would blow you all away. And honestly, it wasn't. It was just really, really, in my opinion, you hear the term, people say there is no substitute for time on the water. 40 years of fishing, plus, how old are you now? 43?
Yeah.
How old are you? 30?
29.
Okay, 29. So he's got 29 years of experience, and it is, even if it's taught or self-learned, you're talking about 80 years with experience between the two of you here, fishing time, roughly. Because you're getting close to 70.
Yeah. Yes.
Let's say 40. Let's say, a good 70 years. So, it's not how we fish, it's where we fished. And I kept hearing him say things like, this was one of Dad's good spots. And this is where Lawson went and caught him, back this day. And this is where Payton won the BFL, or the Toyota. And, and this was a dock that he had some magic on. And this was a spot, and, and he's telling these stories as we go. And guys, they're not a special dock. It's not different than anything else on any lake you fished. There was nothing magical about it. It was a little pocket in a cove, and the dock set real nice and had some good shade on it. The sun was on it, and he cast on it, and he caught these big fish. But it's just it's where they lived.
Yeah.
It's where those big fish reside, and he just knew over time that's traditionally where those fish. And if I'm saying it wrong, let me know.
Nope.
But I mean, because I wanted to go learn like something amazing, and the only thing amazing was just the guy knows how to fish. You really do. I was humbled. It was awesome.
We practiced really, really hard.
Yeah.
To get really, really good at what we do this time of the year.
Yeah.
And that's it. I mean, we really enjoy it. It's one of our best times of the season, and I think it's because it's so tough for the most part. And we really like doing what we do. making good precision cast and putting our lure where most people don't. And
yeah,
and
I remember there was a point when I said, dude, you're like, it's you and I have worked together on and off here at the shop and around. I mean, we don't fish, but we work and we talk.
Sure,
we talk a lot about fishing, but to see it applied, and I was like, dude, I said, you're feeling good. You were feeling really good that day. You weren't tired, and I think I was more wore out than you were just watching it. But I mean, this guy was putting on a clinic, and I said, man, you're like a machine. And he'd said this. He said, no, this is what I do for a living. He's like, they put some money down. We're going to try to take it. Because I told him, I said, dude, it's going to be fun. We're gonna have some fun today. He's like, no. He said, we're going to go fish to win. That's the way this deal works. I'm like, okay. And that intensity, I think, would have been the same as it was a 400 boat tournament or or an invitational or an open or a classic. I mean, he put his nose down and we went to work.
Yeah.
And it was really cool to be a part of that. I mean, it really was. So
it's not as much fun as you thought, is it?
Oh, it was a ball for me.
Yeah.
It was a ball for me. My only drawback is I was trying to emulate what he was doing, and I should have fished how I fish. I think I might have had a little more success, but you lose confidence in what you're doing. We talked about it before, and Dion said, tie you on a whopper plopper, tie you on a shaky head worm, and he said, I'm going to use a jig, as we always do, but we get to these these ramps off the side. There's a boat ramp that's shaded. He said, throw a plopper up on there, and he'd say, here, cast this spot, and pick it up a shaky head, and hit the corners. I'll fish the wells. And it was a system, but I lost confidence because I wasn't catching fish. So when you lose confidence, you just don't fish as hard as you should, and that was something that I should have just stayed committed to. But I kept picking up that jig and trying to flip. And I wasn't being very successful with it, and I just kind of just jacked up my own day. I really did. And in hindsight, I should have just stuck with that shaky head and went to work. There towards the end, I picked up chatterbait, trying to pick up a Kentucky just to, take some credit and put a fit fish in the boat. And I'm telling you guys, if you're fishing the big bass and you have a chatterbait on your line right now with anything attached to it, even if it's any kind of a bladed jig, cut it off and throw it in the trash. If you're going to fish the grab boy's arm, cut it off and throw it away.
6-pounders will fog a guy's brain.
Yeah,
it's hard.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's hard to fish through that. So
yeah, I mean,
but the winning fish, what'd you catch a 2-pounder on?
Shaky head.
Yeah, I
caught it on and it was just I think it was a hand pour jig. I think it was like a 5/16 screw style 4/0 hook, and I threw a I don't know what you call your stupid baits. The cut tail Bojangles worm, smoke pole, green pumpkin. On a smoke pole. Yeah. I mean, it was laying in the bottom of the boat, and I just thought, whatever.
You were tired of stepping on it, so you tied it on.
That's right. Well, see, I always throw a Magnum finesse worm, shorter, and fish for some bigger fish. Get bigger worm. He said, you had some success with it last week, and he said tie it on and give it a shot. So I did, and I mean, it caught one fish, but I didn't stick with it. When he was fishing docks, I should have cast it up to those pole piers. I should have fished dock piers, should have fished the corners, dead man poles. I could have flipped around, probably picked up another fish, but kept laying it down, picking up jig, laying it down, picking up the plopper, and laying it down. And, he just never, I did see him go through an entire bag of trailers. Mm-hmm. It's most time because he was fishing, flipping around on such heavy cover, he was tearing the pinchers off. So he was constantly switching them out. So
it's not exactly like it's an exact science when I go fishing around a boat dock. I tear up a lot of crap.
He did.
I hit a lot of stuff.
Knock a lot of paint off.
That's right. I
dent some pontoons.
I chipped a lot of fiberglass.
And we can talk about the downside of it too. I was using monofilament, you were using fluoro, and you had a few times where it was breaking off up in the rod.
I did. I really feel like I got a bad spool of line.
Yep. So
I had
from me, so it was my fault.
Yeah, but so you tried to sabotage me right off.
If you're an angler, and this is for Lawson, okay? Because I'll tell you what he did. If you're an angler and you think you have a problem, what do? What would you do
with my line?
If you thought you had a bad spool, what do you do?
I would have changed it.
Yeah. So the first thing he did is he took his pole, he put it in the box, he retired it, and he grabbed another one, retied, and went back fishing again. But when we caught a break, he said, "I just need to take a little, just a little quick break." We got out into the open water, and he opens up his lid, he gets out a spool of line, he strips it off, and he winds it back on. It took 3 minutes.
Yeah, new line.
Re-spooled some new line. He's like, "All right." He said, I'm going to get my bags out, and he got rearranged, and we went back to work. And I don't think you broke off again.
Nope.
Backlash the hell out a few times.
But three times that morning, 3 times that morning was 2 times too many, on breaking them off.
Yeah.
You shouldn't ever do that, and I didn't, But like I say, how many times are you going to walk in a store and buy a brand new spool of line and it'd be bad?
Yeah.
Unless
Lawson, like everything else in your boat, you probably left it on your deck for 6 months.
Well, I got it for him the day before.
Him.
Yeah, he bought. Him. Yeah, the line that we used, he bought for me the day before. Yeah, probably.
Yeah, you nicked the spool, didn't you?
I didn't.
Hey,
it's a good thought.
Yeah, sabotage your stuff.
But
I'll remember for the next one.
We caught them all.
Good evening, Doc Paul. I was just seeing. He said the evening
all day long on a 1/2 ounce Hibden hammer, green pumpkin in color and brown, and a green pumpkin Willie, which is a beaver style bait made by Bojangles.
Yep, shameless plug, but it's what he's using. So
that's what we used all day. Probably went through 50 trailers that day.
You did,
catching little fish and knocking them off on throwing it stuff I'm throwing around and different things. But it's hard sometimes getting your bait in there, and we kept our head down and kept working at it and kept slinging and made a few good casts, and it worked.
Slinging at it, yeah. No, it was cool. It was a good day. So yeah, so that's the story, and I'm sticking to it.
And I didn't fish very well either. I mean, I lost some fish after, even when we had 4. I'm still not up to par like I was. I'm pretty fatigued. You made the comment after we was over, man, you was like a machine. I said, yeah, you should have seen me when I was Lawson's age. That's when I was a machine. Now I'm just kind of, I get tired at the end of the day, like, other gray-haired people, and
yeah, but, and we
still made it work.
Yeah, but we talked about this, and guys, I got to tell you, Dion does not fish with a pedestal seat at all. Deck's clear, so he stood all damn day. And there was a couple of times where, man, my feet were hurting, and I was leaning on the butt seat, and I was kind of liking it. And I said, hey, do you want this butt seat up there for a minute? You want to lean up? And he's like, dude, he said, when I get tired, I'll just sit down. He said, don't worry about me. I'm going to work. And, and I didn't notice. And you did it very, very good. When you retied, sit down and take a break,
Yep.
And you take more time, retie, take time. Hop up on the troller, let me get up on the troller, and I went and fished a little bit of area, which was crappy water, and I'm sure he did that on purpose so he could retie, because he probably didn't trust me to lose it. Is that the man?
No, it's not the man.
All right.
It is. So, it's Kenyon.
6 pounders. 6 pounders get the juices flowing too.
Oh yeah.
And when you do that, my dad would retie after every fish. Because, he always said, hey, you get the blood pumping, and he said, you make another good cast, and he said, you're liable to break him off, because you're too juiced up, and so sit down, take a minute, retie, and by the time you stand back up, kind of that testosterone's kind of bled back out of you, and now you're just back to fishing again. Yeah,
and it was cool. I think I might have said it before, and I don't remember. I might have said it before the show. Lost and I were talking. I said, you caught that 680, and he sat down in the chair and he looked at me. He says, dude, I don't care who you are. I don't care how long you fish. He said, you catch fish like that, that's a cool deal. And I know his hands were you're shaking just a little bit.
Yeah.
Not shaking like because you're old, Parkinson's.
Old decrepit.
Yeah, old decrepit. I mean, he was actually kind of worked up and a little,
pretty excited.
He
that's
composed
right.
himself. And I was like, that's pretty cool. It's like, it doesn't matter how long you fished. I mean, he's still excited about fishing. And that got me pumped.
Yeah.
But then when he were around the dock and he caught the second one, I'm like, okay, that's cool. And he said,
all I could think about at that point in time was, oh my gosh, we just ruined Lawson's day.
Yeah,
he's gonna hate me when I get to the weigh-in.
But later, that was really funny. He's like, dude, we just done pissed him off, and I was like being stupid, like I don't know what you're talking about. He's like, dude, really? He's like, he ain't doing this, But he also told me, he's like, he said, I've spent a lot of years fishing. He said, I put a lot of time on a lot of lakes. Catching 2 fish like that about one dock, he said, it's special.
Yep.
And that was super cool. I mean, I've never seen anything like that in my life. Probably never will. I don't know if I will again. That was pretty cool. So yeah, that was awesome. and nothing spectacular to say. Just the right spot, the right time, and fishing gods wanted you to whoop Lawson's ass. And
Yeah, it was
I think
awesome.
that was all of it.
Eating poop. Yeah. But hey, thanks for coming and taking your licks.
Yeah, I'm here.
It was good. And there'll be times, and just some notes, because it's the only glory I can take. There'll be a year from now, I'm gonna say, you remember that Tuesday? And you're gonna know. It's like the September cool, or I can't remember who sang that song. Do you remember?
Cool in the Gang.
That day in September. Yeah.
The greatest part of my
I just
day,
would love
This
for
was
you guys
October.
to finish out the season on those.
the
'Cause you're not
greatest
going to win them all.
the greatest part of my day.
I'll never fish one again.
Why?
Then I'll say,
You've got to fish the next one.
But then I'll say I'm undefeated.
Yeah, no, that's not how that works.
The greatest
You're going with
part
him again.
the greatest part of my day is when we got back to the weigh-in and we came in and I set you out to go get the truck, and Lawson dropped off his partner to go get the truck, and all 17 guys are getting out there, getting jockeyed around, trying to load their boats out, and Lawson idles up to me and he says, "Did you get them?" I said, "He's got 4." And I said, "How about you?" And he said, "Oh hell," he said, "we caught the hell out of them." I said, "Really?" I said, "Catch a bunch?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, probably 20." And I said, "Wow." I said, "You got any big ones?" And he said, "Yeah, I got 2 nice ones." I said, "Well, that's awesome." And he said, because we're doing this for kind of to restock the Grab Boys arm.
Right.
And he said, "Wow," he says, "I wish I'd have seen you earlier, and could have clued you in on how to catch that 5th one." I'm like, it'll probably be okay. And I just drove away. And then we got to the weigh-in, and really we hadn't said nothing to nobody at all, really. And another buddy of ours, Joe McBride and Bob McBride, walked by the boat and they said, "You got a big one?" I said, "Yes, we do." And Jamie reaches in the bag and he pulls out the smallest of the 3. And Joe's like, "Holy crap, that's a giant!" I said, "Yeah, that is a nice one."
Just wait.
And I said, "But I got bad news for you." I said, "That's the smallest one." And he's like, "What?" And then Jamie pulls out one that's right around 6, and he says, "Holy crap, that's a 6-pounder." I said, "No," but I said, "The next one sure as enough is." And he pulls out the next one, and it ended up being
It was funny because
680 or something like that.
before I
But,
could get the bag and got up there, they were all, you could just hear the murmur.
oh yeah,
Dion's got like freaking 18 pounds on 4. It was like, and I'm like, I don't know, and you kept saying you got a 6 and a 5, and I was like, okay. So in my mind, I'm thinking we got 15, 16 pounds.
I thought that's what it was. I figured we had a 6 and a 5, and then that other one, but that other one ended up being a 5 too.
Let's just clarify this really quick. Could the scales have been heavy? Yes. I don't think they were, because if you see the video, if you request the video, which I'll send to you, which by the way, if you didn't hear earlier, I have the entire thing on film, and if you send us your email and you subscribe to YouTube, I'll send you the video of the 680 being caught. And
we want you to watch the show. We want you to watch the podcast.
I want you to watch the shows, yeah. So this is like the gift.
Yeah.
Like if you subscribe, we'll give you a free bag of baits. No, we're not doing that because we don't have enough money. But I'll send you a video of a cool fish being caught, and that's kind of cool. And then you guys get the first VIP of that. And then later, after everyone outfishes us for like 5 or 6 years, we'll put it up publicly. So,
Yeah.
because when they move the dock, that's
right. Yeah.
When they move the dock. And I guess I'll let that rule out. All you guys that fished that tournament are not eligible, and all you guys that fish Toyota and you drop me an email, I'm not going to send it to you either. So, and if I do, I'll mute everything out like the jackweeds do on their photos. They'll mute the background out and just show I'm catching that fish. But yeah, I don't even know where I was going with that. I lost my train of thought. But anyway,
we just want you to subscribe.
Yeah,
watch
subscribe to YouTube and watch it.
Watch the show.
Yeah, Randy Blockett doesn't deserve all the glory for having a bunch of subscribers. We'd like to get at least 40, which we have more than that. I'm just kidding, but yeah, that's cool. Got in, Joe. We were talking about Joe McBride and Brian Maloney. We fished around them most of the day. We saw them.
Yeah, we saw those guys a lot.
So those guys know the area. It was all cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was cool. So with that being being said,
he's
guys,
just calling in because he's just glad we took one for the gray hairs. I mean, that's
right.
it.
That's right. So with that being said, we're kind of let's lay that down. That's kind of the story that we told this week. It's a good story.
Sure.
The problem, I don't like it. You think we're gonna fish again, right?
You should.
We're definitely fishing again. They don't scare me.
Next one's the 22nd.
Maybe we can get the rich pharmacist the rich retired pharmacist to come fish one.
There you go.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll have him on the show too. He used to be he's kind of one of them old school legends. You know, he can pull that jig game out. So, you know that in, yeah, right? He says he flies on Tuesdays.
Some Tuesdays.
Gotcha. So that being said, the last 3 weeks we talked about the Big Bass Bash, and we've talked about water conditions, and we've talked about things that are happening. So Big Bass Bash is this Saturday and Sunday. It's Thursday. Tomorrow, I'm begging you guys, and this is just me talking, don't go fishing tomorrow. Don't. You can go out in your boat, and you can go...
retie your rods.
Yep.
Twice.
So, and we get back. Brian Maloney finished second in the tournament. He said, if you have to be a bridesmaid, being one with Dion beating you is a great day. Good job, gentlemen. He said, thanks, Brian. Yeah, I wish I could take credit, but I can't. So, but Brian had
He had 17. Had 17. Had a great day.
Too. Yeah.
It was an awesome
like
day.
I said, I think we saw him. He fished us right up from us a couple times.
Really, overall, the whole crew caught him.
Yeah.
There was a number of decent stringers caught.
Yeah.
I mean, not as good as ours, but still a lot of decent stringers caught. Some really adequate fishermen fished it. It was okay. I mean,
crap.
Very capable anglers were in the tournament.
Yep.
But I mean, there was quite a few 13, 14 pound stringers, wasn't there?
I think so.
I mean, everybody that was close to the money, we had 14.
Honestly, when you're the green guy, it's like sitting back, watching everything go, and you catch all the fish, and I'm sitting there, I'm just watching the weigh-in, counting money. I was thinking, this is great. We're going to win. We're going to divvy us up some money. And, here's a good one for you, Lawson. So the tournament's only $50, okay? So we're out there fishing, and Dion, he catches big fish. He's like, damn, he said, we should have been for more. I said, well, dude, we're in a side pot. And he went, there's a side pot? And I said, yeah, it's winner take all. He's like, well, okay. He said, this is a good deal. I said, well, hell yeah. I said, it's payday. I said, we're in the check line now. I said, we're gonna get paid. So it was kind of cool. So I was watching my way, and and I was always, and you guys are the same way. When you catch them good.
It was funnier than hell watching you walk up to get the truck. It was like you were trying to ignore everybody. You just walked straight to the vehicle. Because, you weren't looking off. Because if you guys don't know Jamie talks, okay? And he talks to everybody. And most of the time, it's giving them lip. Yeah. And it was so funny. He walked up through there just as tight-lipped as he could be, got the truck, backed in, and, well, as soon as them fish hit the bag, then the talking started. Then it got better.
Yeah, once they all went, holy crap, yeah, I know, Tony's cute, isn't he? So Tony Hatton, who was our guest last week, he's like, hey, James just doubled his career tournament winnings. Tony, that is my career tournament winnings.
That's all of it.
That's all of it. No, I did win a Make-A-Wish.
There you go,
I won a few club tournaments. Yeah, I've been all right. If you go look at me at FLW, that's a big old donut hole. So I'm going to have to resubscribe. So, no, and... I'm not going to walk, and just so you understand my point of view,
You're unplugged. You're officially unplugged.
Plug that back in. I took the crappy microphone.
No.
So when you said he's walking up there, it's not my place to go up there and say, hey, did you guys catch him? And I'm going to say, I didn't, I'd rather just walk on by. And, because I was getting ready to say that, I'm always to the mindset, if you catch 18, somebody caught 23. So you can't. Once you start blowing, it's like, hey, we had 18 pounds. We're like, oh, good. Kind of like Lawson is like, yeah, we caught 20. Maybe I'll show you how to catch a fifth. Not understanding that you had more in the boat. So. But that's a rarity, right? Mm-hmm. For somebody to have 4 and smoke it like that, it's pretty cool. So.
I think it was just for me. We've known each other for 30 years or so.
At least, yeah.
And really only been in a boat a couple of times,
And we pre-fished a white bass tournament a couple
of
times.
That's right.
That's it.
That's it, and to go out and actually make it kind of all connect and connect the dots about what we talk about once a week, here. it was just kind of cool.
Well, I know to shut up and go to the back of the boat when I need to.
It was fun to experience it, and
ain't hard.
And I mean, it was fun. It was fun for me. It was fun for me too.
Yeah.
I mean,
and as Chuck Green said, there is absolutely nothing wrong with being the net man.
I've been there before.
I have
it
no
pays the
problem,
same.
So yeah, when
Pays
you're
the
the first guy to get to reach in and take that fish. Hey, but by the way, so the second fish, you catch the second fish. When I netted it and brought it in, the jig was laying in the net. Lawson.
Oh no.
Yeah, and I don't know if that fish was ever hooked. Seriously. And and he said, and it's kind of interesting. He said, those big fish, they'll clamp down. Mm-hmm. Have you ever caught one like that?
That's why you lose them a lot.
It came out and never opened its mouth.
No.
I just kept steadily pulling, and it came right to the net. And,
yeah. He never opened his mouth. He was closed mouth and put him in the net. And when he got in the net,
before he pulled it over the side, I could have made another cast.
Yeah, it literally just slid out.
The net, it was in the net.
That was kind of interesting. So I thought that was pretty amazing. So, yep. So yeah, that was kind of interesting. So I don't know for sure if that's what happened there, but it's kind of interesting if it did. So Mr. Truman, you want him in?
Come here, Truman.
Yeah, slide him in. There you go.
Come here, bud.
Hey, buddy.
The next generation just showed up.
Mr. Truman, welcome to Real Unfiltered Talk.
Hey.
So he's on too.
Hey, Truman.
Hey. You want to talk to Pete?
Can you say hi, Pete? Say hi, Pete.
Nope.
So
not talking.
Don't want to talk to
You can see yourself, can't you, on the screen?
Nope, nice as you have to go.
Here in a minute, we'll show you Grandpa catching a big fish.
That's right. So
your dad's not tired of looking at it yet.
Yeah, I know. We showed him the video a few times. It's been fun. Yeah, I was saying that with you. Subscribe to YouTube and drop me an email. I'll send you the video. It's kind of cool. You'll see us do a little fist bumping and trash talking. So, and there's a little, just a forewarning, maybe a little profanity. So I'm not gonna edit that out. So, because when you're pumped up, you yell some things you maybe shouldn't yell. So, which wasn't me. So that being said, it's kind of cool. You ready to go, buddy?
Don't forget our only sponsor.
We're not done.
Oh, okay.
We haven't got the Big Bass Bash.
Oh, okay.
See, we got sidetracked again. We got back talking about whooping Lawson, and that screwed off. So big says Peter T. That's so Big Bass Bash coming up. What I was going to say was, please don't pre-fish. Don't hook that big fish on Friday. Go out and check your water. See if guys are fishing on those spots. Look for areas where guys aren't out there already looking. Do you agree?
I've always thought that a guy should, fish where everybody's not, and to say you can go do what we did on Tuesday and catch them. Yeah, somebody's going to. There's going to be a few people catch the right fish under a boat dock, but man, the boat docks are going to get hammered. It wouldn't surprise me that somebody doesn't catch one deep, just because the water temperature is still 80 degrees.
Well, and it's a 4,000 boat lottery.
That's right.
That's right. There's a lot of water to cover, and somebody's going to figure one out. Even if they're lucky, even if you hit one on the head, it's just that's going to happen. So,
what do you think?
I know a guy that caught a 7-pounder today.
Really?
He's not going to catch that Saturday.
Was he going to fish the bash?
Yeah.
Oh, I bet he was sick.
Yeah. No, he was excited until I brought him down a notch
and said that fish ain't going to eat again.
That was dumb.
Yeah.
He shouldn't have done that.
So I'm saying you go out and have fun, but scout. Look for water, look for conditions. You can theoretically cut the hook off for bait. If you want to do that, we hear stories about that happening. Take the hook off. Go out there and if you catch one, you can take a look at them, but don't hook them. Because if you catch a great big one tomorrow, you're going to really be sick for the rest of the year. So don't do that. We've been talking about water conditions. Did you say the water creeped up a little bit last couple of days?
A few inches.
The lake level's
just a
come up
couple
few
inches.
Just a couple inches. We've had some really cool nights here in Missouri, and water temperature is slowly coming down, but it's still unusually warm.
Yeah, 80-degree days just are keeping it hot.
The lower end of the lake, we haven't seen a really big topwater bite, correct? So if you're going to fish the river, the Osage and up, I think that's where your topwater bite's going to be a little bit better. Maybe if the wind, a chatterbait and spinnerbait upriver. Don't be afraid to throw a shaky head. Lower end of the lake, I only have one word for you, or 3 words: jig, jig, jig. Fish a jig, maybe a big worm, a shaky head, and you guys have fun with Big Bass Bash. But more importantly than anything else, and kind of a side note, we were moving around a lot. We were moving up to docks a lot on Tuesday. And there was one time I was sitting down and I said, let's go. And he just stopped. He said, get your life jacket on. And I said, shit, I forgot, So I put my jacket on. Guys, don't forget to hook up your kill switch and your jackets. Even if you're making a little move across, there's 4,000 or 5,000 boats on the water this weekend, and there's going to be guys not paying attention. So make sure you're safe and take care of each other.
And there could be plenty of fog.
Yep, there could be with that cold water in the morning. You're going to have some fog. So be careful and enjoy one of the biggest amateur tournaments in the world. And it's somebody's going to win $100,000, and the Terrell family's done a great job putting on a great event for amateur anglers.
Oh, I don't know.
Funny story. I got to share this with you. What's that?
That boat parade deal isn't this weekend, is it?
I don't know, but if it is, there's a lot of stuff that's happening here at Missouri at the Lake of the Ozarks. We've got swap meets, and we've got the Apple Festival and the Big Bass Bash, and there's a lot going on. So just be aware of your surroundings and be careful, and really enjoy your stay here at the Lake of the Ozarks. Funny though, we were looking this morning on the rules because everyone was asking all these questions about the rules, and one of the questions that was asked was, can you fish around a boat dock or a gas dock during the Big Bass Bash? And we really couldn't find anything in the rules, but then we started talking about amateurs versus pros versus guides, and so we started reading the rules. Did you know in the rules for eligibility? Now, just to end the story, Big Bass Bash reserves the right to refuse anyone's entry for any reason. So if they think you're a really good fisherman, you make a lot of money, and maybe you have it documented, they can still say no. However, in the rules, it says you can't be a pro, an elite, a BSS angler, an open angler, an MPFL angler for the last 3 years. Okay? But then it says, and my dad was reading it to Dion, it says, if you're a former Bassmasters Classic champion or an FLW champion, you are ineligible. And Dion said, it doesn't say that. And guys, if you look in the book, there is what I call the Dion Hibden rule. It's in there. It's like not one championship, but both. You can't fish. It's like, son of a gun. And I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
So the gas dock rule is actually not in many tournaments rules. That's in the Missouri state rules.
Right.
Which is in rules for the tournament, says that, follow any Missouri state rules. Or
I didn't know that was a state law.
Yeah.
What if they're closed?
Well, that's what I've argued several times.
Because the whole reason is for congestion,
Right.
So you're not around people that are trying to buy and get fuel. But if that's not the case?
I don't know. I'm waiting for clarification.
Oh, I thought you were disagreeing, shaking your head no.
I don't know if it's closed or off season, if it's still a law or what.
We'll have to go review the laws, and we'll talk about that next week. So, yeah, and always, as any tournament organization, including the Big Bass Bash, it says in there, if you have a doubt, give them a call. Their numbers are right there. So if you're thinking you want to do something like that and you're not sure you're doing the right thing, just give them a call. They'll clarify it for you. I would honestly, I think I'd ask for forgiveness after I caught the big fish. Hope like hell you passed the poly.
Yeah, you got to pass those polygraph deals.
Yeah, pass the polygraph, you're good. So, other than that, it's been a good show, kind of long-winded. It was kind of a good story. Sorry, we're going to rub it in for the next at least week or two.
Well, until the next tournament.
Or at least October,
sure.
whatever.
So that's cool. So we're going to do that. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in. It was a great show. Shameless plugs. You got anything, D?
Just Lloyd
Morgan and June up at Hiawatha Beach Resort are famous sponsors. They're up there at the 50.
Do not fish their gas dock.
67 mile mark. Don't fish their gas dock.
Lloyd should know the rule. Is
Lloyd
that a
will
law?
shoot you.
That's a law, is it not?
Yes.
It is a law. Okay.
In the Big Bash rules, you can't read anything off the paper. You have to go into their rule system, and it says 50 yards from
Okay.
a gas pump. That's
All right. So Lloyd at
150
Hiawatha
feet.
says 150 feet from any gas dock for the Big Bass Bash. So, and then Bojangle Baits, they've been really good this week, taking the abuse too, because Bo fished with you and we whooped him also. We collectively. And he said, "Mark your calendar for the 22nd." That's the next Angry Pirate tournament. So he's all excited.
Everybody's excited.
So yeah, it's a good time. I will not trash talk.
I hope we call in some really good.
Awesome.
I hope we call in some really good fishermen for that
That's
next
right.
one.
That's right. So then I guess I'll end up with my quote tonight. I
There
found
you
a
go.
new one. So tonight's quote to close out the show, I found one from Jim Bagley. Yes.
If you're going to fish, don't fish.
Yeah.
That's right.
If you're going to bitch, don't fish.
That's right.
All right. If you're going to complain,
if you want to fish against a bunch of
Take
quality guys on a Tuesday, show up.
yeah, I mean that's and there was a lot of talk about that. There's like some big sticks fishing this tournament, and they shouldn't let the pros fish, shouldn't do this, shouldn't do that. Guys, Andy said the other day, so I'll just raise the entry to $5,000, and then it won't matter. So
Still be the same group.
still
of
be the
guys.
same group of guys that show up fish the same thing. So put your 50 down, and I always thought it
you
was
wanna-
great. If you're gonna fish against higher competition, you're gonna fish better. You learn a lot. These guys they're very open and they're approachable. Sometimes Dion's approachable. He's depends on if it's a Wednesday or first Wednesday of the month. He's okay. So Jim Bagley, the founder of Bagley Lures, I found his quote in my book, and he said, and I think this applies for the week, all right, for the Big Bass Bash and this week, and how you fished. He said, remember, the bass will often remain in very shallow water, even in the dead heat of summer, as long as he has shade, food, and oxygen. Don't overlook the shallows, especially at daylight and at dusk. From the words from Jim Bagley back in the late 70s, the founder of the Bagley Bait. So very, very good information. That's just a quote. It's cool. You got anything else?
Nope, I'm good.
I'd like to thank Brian Sausage Outdoors here at the shop for giving us this little studio. We're in the middle of remodeling, so if there's a lot of echoing, again, Hiawatha Beach Resort. And everybody who watches us and subscribes to YouTube and sends me an email, I'll send you the video this evening or first thing in the morning. Depends on how many more beers I have. So from all of us here at Real Unfiltered Talk, we'd like to thank you for tuning in. And we'll see you Wednesday, 6 p.m.
Say bye, Truman.
Want to say goodbye, Truman?
Bye.
Say bye.
Thanks, guys, for listening. We'll see you next week.